that we get the necessary information to our young people. And our young people will not accept what we say unless we can answer their questions. They will want every belief that we present to them to be substantiated with science, with technology, with modern sociology, with their understanding of history. So we are trained in our monasteries, for example, today to face that new task. In the University of the West, where I have been working for the last 15 years, one main emphasis is on how we can inform our teachers so that they can meet the needs of the young people. So we have a very big challenge in that, and I agree with you that what we may not have in our countries, we have to develop their belief now. Our children, the next generation of the American Vietnamese and also the American Buddhists of every ethnic group, they will have to have a program for study and preparation. And we are conscious of it, and some real progress is being made. Yes, that's a question from this end.
Hi, I know that Buddhism started in India, and majority of people who live in India are Hindu, and Buddha himself was a Hindu. How do Hinduism see Buddhism religion? Do they see it as a brother-sister religion? And when Buddha got enlightenment, he started Buddhism, but do he still, he still consider himself a Hindu? And how is Buddhism affecting India right now? Is it growing or such?
It is true that Buddhism developed in India. The Buddha came from India, Buddha came from a family. I do not know whether we can call him Hindu, because what we call Hinduism today is a post-Buddhist development. It did not exist at the time of the Buddha. We try to differentiate that historically and say what we had before was Brahmanism, which had certain gods. Then when Hinduism came several centuries later, all those gods disappeared and new gods came into the picture, and what we call Hinduism today is a somewhat different kind of religious system than what existed at the time of Buddha. But India has one spiritual tradition. All these religions that arose in India believe in certain main principles. We all believe in a cycle of birth and death, rebirth. We all believe that good action brings good results and bad action gives bad results. We all have an ethical foundation in which charity, virtue, and development of the mind have a place. So there is much in common between Buddhism and Hinduism, just as with Jainism, which is another important religion that developed in India. So today, where we meet, like in Sri Lanka, which has 15% Hindu population with a 70% Buddhist population, the Hindu gods are being worshipped in the temples of the Buddhists, and the Buddha is being worshipped in the temple of the Hindus as an incarnation of Vishnu. So there is very much give and take and great amity, so that they are not rival religions anymore. They are religions, they are a part of our common spiritual tradition. And this is what we also like to promote. We want to promote an understanding among religions. We do not want to have, people like us who believe in spirituality, who believe in religion, must consider anyone who accepts the religion as an ally, as a friend. Because there are people who say religion is not wanted at all. Spirituality has nothing to do. All that matters is dollars and cents. All that matters is whether we can go to Las Vegas and win the jackpot. There are people who have different value systems. But those of us who believe in religion have kept together. And Hinduism and Buddhism, the way they interact each other is already an indication that religions can exist together, be friends, and be contributing to the goodness of life and the world together. Yeah. The next question? Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. I just have a question. That means that you have many experiences as you are the vice president of the World Sangha. Actually, the government of Republic of People of China, they have the representative in the World Sangha, and if really they have joined you on all the activity you have, and also if they join, is it facade or something to cover something that they have the religious freedom? Thank you.
Not only as the senior vice president of the World Fellowship of Buddhism, but also in my very close relations with the People's Republic of China, I can tell you that Buddhism has made a tremendous comeback in China. 130 million people openly registered themselves in the census as Buddhists. They don't have to, but what can I tell you? And the credit for that goes to a man called Chao Pu-Chu, whose name must be very familiar to those who know China. He was the founder and the president up to his death of the Chinese Buddhist Association, which is a very, very important and a powerful organization in China. Chao Pu-Chu, like me, had been a vice president of the World Fellowship of Buddhists right up to his death, and he had attended, maybe he missed one or two, practically every general conference wherever it was in the world. We have worked together, and the very last occasion that we met was when Chao Pu-Chu did something very interesting as a prelude to the annexation of return of Hong Kong to China. He had a huge bronze statue of the Buddha in Lentau, in the island with the airport, as a gift when the British were still holding Hong Kong. And the ceremony was in 1993, which I attended, and that showed a great degree of attention that China was given to Buddhism. And to tell you how closely World Fellowship of Buddhists works from with the Chinese community, at the 60th anniversary of the World Fellowship of Buddhists, which was held with me as the chairman in Sri Lanka in November, with Dr. Lee also attended from here. The Chinese delegation consisted of a minister of culture from Beijing and 82 members. So out of the 600 delegates that came from various parts of the world to the World Fellowship of Buddhists in November 2010, 82 happen to be from People's Republic of China. And that, I think, is adequate numerical proof that Buddhism is alive, Buddhism is recognized as active, as well as Buddhism is regarded as something that needs to be promoted by China. And 3 big international forums that have been held brought in up to 10,000 Buddhist scholars and practitioners from all over the world to Beijing. That is the kind of interest that China chose, and we are very, very optimistic that with this kind of interest that China has taken, that there will be great support coming from this country. And in a recent declaration, the official declaration of China, this statement was very interesting. It said, we recognize 3 as Chinese religions: Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism. And now we recognize 3 religions, namely Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam. So China has given #1 place.
Next question.
Hi, I do have a question. Is Vietnam part of the World International Organization? If so, I understand that the Vietnam Buddhist organization is formed by the Vietnamese government, and how does it impact the original branch that the Vietnamese Buddhist congregations in Vietnam nowadays?
The question relates to a very important international or internal issue in Vietnam itself. We are hoping that with all the education that goes around the world,